Good afternoon, everybody. We're here at the Kitchen Table Counseling Center in Lafayette, Louisiana. I am sitting down and having a chat with Miss Chasity Claude, who is a certified life coach. How are you doing today, Chas?
I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm doing great. Let's talk a little bit about what you do here at the Kitchen Table Counseling Center.
Okay, well, I am a life coach, and what I do is most times just speak with people to know what would be goals that you want to accomplish that you're having problems accomplishing on your own. And our motto pretty much for the coaching class and the way we handle the practice is mainly that you have the answers, so hopefully we could have conversations, and I have tools that can help you discover those answers within yourself.
So you're here to just kind of help everybody dig a little bit deeper.
Yes.
And accomplish things.
Definitely dig a little deeper, and definitely not to implant any idea I have for your life over you. I can really just listen, not like if you tell family members sometimes they have a preconceived notion of what you should do. I don't. I just want to hear what you think you shouldn't do, and a lot of times I'm just facilitating the moment where you're like, oh, I know what I need to do.
Correct. Okay. All right. So I just want to know what brought you here. To be, what motivated you to become a life coach to help others? Was it part of your journey, your own journey of healing, or what brought you on this path?
Well, I really wasn't so much looking to be a life coach as much as I was really just looking for, at first I didn't know what I was looking for. I just heard people had recommended the Kitchen Table to me for other services and classes that they would have, and as I would attend each class, I got hungry for a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then we became just really consumers of the Kitchen Table, coming here for different services because they offer a lot of different things for emotional and spiritual healing. And from there, somebody had recommended the class, and until I really went in the interview that you do to take the class and be accepted into the school, that's when I realized, oh man, what they were doing really was lining up with what I wanted to do, and then that was my decision. But mainly everything that I've ever learned or that I've done for my business essentially was for myself and my family first. We've been the biggest benefiters of learning the coaching program, really.
So you just wanted to take that healing and spread it out.
Yeah,
to everybody
absolutely.
That you knew. That's
the
awesome.
more I learn, the more I'm like, I've always been that way. Just like it's hard to hold back sometimes when I feel like somebody, I learned something, I'm like, you got to do this, you got to experience this, because it's just been so good. I just like want that for everybody.
You want to learn, and it makes you want to teach. It gives you that fire.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, what are some of the, I guess, challenges or issues that people come here with that you see pretty often that you're able to help them with?
Well, mainly the funny thing about life coaching and especially in this business is that a lot of times you just attract a lot of the people that have a lot of issues that you have or had previously or that you're currently working with. And so in a lot of ways we really do see people that are just like us, and a lot of times that varies. If that's family, if that's health, if that's I don't know what my next step in life is. And the cool thing about here is that if that's not my specialty, then there's a list of other coaches that we know that we can refer to.
That's awesome. So it's a whole network of people here that can do different things. Okay. So some of the additional realms of therapy here I read about was recall healing. Can you talk a little bit about that for us? Or?
Yes. Well, recall healing is essentially just a mind-body connection on a much deeper level, and it talks about a lot of the things that we experience that would be listed as trauma, not like a war, but like things that just affected us, as trauma. When the mind can't deal with it, the body is smart enough to hold it for you,
right? And
it holds it for you in time for you to come back and process it. But if it doesn't get processed, then it comes as a symptom to say, hey, let's look at that again.
Yeah. So kind of what we're talking about here today is whenever your emotional trauma is so deeply embedded that it starts causing physical pain, you'll have physical manifestations, you'll start having nerve overstimulation. And basically, until you start to process all of these things, you're going to stay stuck where you are. You're going to stay stuck in physical, emotional, mental pain. And talking about your issues, having energy work done, dealing with a life coach, dealing with any other forms of health therapy, kind of gives you control back over your life, and it helps you to not give so much control to a doctor, because you're actually sitting down and you're processing everything that you're going through, and you're working through those problems, you're working through those past traumas, and you're giving yourself permission to heal. You're not looking for someone else to heal you. And I think that's really something that life coaching does that's amazing. You're giving them space, you're holding space for them to heal.
Yes, and again, it's just like the life coaching, is the answer's within you. The answer to heal you is within you. So I believe that in an emotional as well as physical aspect of life.
Would you say that the people here in this area are pretty receptive to life coaching and all of the things that you guys have to offer? Is it becoming, more of a widespread acceptable thing, instead of, them continuing to go through to doctors and stuff like that for medications? And, a lot of us are trying to get people off of medications,
right,
because we understand the mental physical barrier of what's happening. Do you feel like people around here are becoming more open?
Well, slowly, yes, they're becoming more open, and that's why a lot of times if someone's just asking for information before I even schedule with them or take any money, like, well, let's get to know each other and to know what you're interested in and because healing is a process, and sometimes a pill is quick. But the thing is, they're never going to give you the recipe to the pill.
Right.
They're never going to give you a training on how to work an MRI and the ability to come and use the MRI. That's always going to be a paid-for service.
Right.
What we offer is, honestly, it's not. I don't want lifelong customers. Lifelong customers don't grow. I want people who I'm just giving you the information, and honestly, that's all. And then you go home and you apply it, and hopefully, it's my dream that you come back and teach me something that I don't know, because it's created a hunger in you to do more. But I'm giving you the cake and the recipe.
Right, and then they usually share that with their families, so that creates generational healing.
Yes.
Instead of generational trauma that so many families are experiencing.
And the one thing I'm grateful for is that although I do deal a lot in energy work, everything that I do and am is rooted in in Christ first, because I've not only followed him, I've studied him. So a lot of the things that seem really out there, I've been blessed with the ability to be able to connect that. Well, that's what he was saying in this part in the Bible, because it for someone who is maybe on the more religious side and there's that dogma there, then it's good that maybe I might be able to help them connect some of those dots, because all of this is God's creation. All of it is. He owns the East and the West.
Right. Just opening their hearts.
Absolutely.
To different healing methods, and that's awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share, or that you would like to tell them about what you do, services that are offered, or just maybe like a great experience that you had, maybe something that someone came in with and then you've seen them come out completely on the other side? Maybe someone came in with migraines and then now they've processed that emotional trauma and they're no longer experiencing migraines, and maybe they've sent someone else in their family to see you because they've experienced such a wonderful healing.
Well, I think the best, I would say the thing that I would want people to know about life coaching is, or what I do mainly is, for the most part, we have, when you have life coaches, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of different certifications, but over here where I studied, the main thing we were taught here was that a lot of things that are roadblocks, they're roadblocks for a reason. And if people knew how to get over them, they would get over them. So a lot of times, instead of going forward, which is where we all want to go, sometimes we have to move a little backward, like a slingshot, to kind of look around there and see. And the funny thing there is that a lot of times people think it's going to be the big thing, the big abuses, the divorces, the firings, but it's really not. It's that small thing your uncle told you that hurt your feelings, that you didn't want to admit hurt your feelings. And then that has you stuck in a job that you don't like for 20 years. And I think that's the amazing thing, is whenever you can see somebody open up something. And as far as like stories, it's funny because like in a lot of times you start off with in your internship, you're just seeing anybody who will like come to you. It's like friends, family, people that know you, they know the old you, and so they're like, "You're doing what now?" Yeah. And it's funny because you start to see and uncover things, and like the backstory, and what you thought it was, and as you get to peel back layers, and you're like, "That's connected to this," and then you see them. You just see the connection in their healing. And then they're like, okay, well now, and then they're coming back to you, and now they're paying. And
they see your worth.
Yes, they see your worth, and they know it works. It's not just patronage, and it's like I think that's the biggest thing, because whenever the one thing that we always learn, like the 5 people closest to you becomes you, but we don't learn why, and it's because like there's an energy pattern that we just pick up. And it's great because I was like, it makes you better, it makes your circle better.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's really awesome that your family came to you while you were an intern, and you got to help some of them on their healing and spiritual growth, and you probably healed a lot of layers of old family trauma that you didn't even know was laying around. So that's really awesome and amazing. Is there anything else that you wanted to add today about what you do or the center? I'll just tell you a little bit more about the kitchen table, because they have, if anybody's interested in the recall healing, there's meetings here. You can go on the website, on the kitchen table's website, and look that up, and there's a lot of other, there's full out licensed therapists here. There's other life coaches that specialize in different areas. It really is a good resource center that encompasses a lot of for help and healing around the city. It's a great resource for the city. Referrals and counseling, marriage, child. They offer several different therapies here. MNRI, which my family, we all use. They're our counselors, so great place here. That's awesome. So if you guys are interested in meeting with Miss Chasity or the Kitchen Table Counseling Center, they're located at 101 Turlings Drive in Lafayette. The phone number is 889-0221. And did you have a personal way of contacting you? Do they need to call the kitchen table?
Well, I do my own scheduling here. Okay. My cell phone, I usually put it on, and I also have a Instagram and Facebook page, but my cell phone is the best way to reach me for appointments, and that's 337-316-1436.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today, Chasity. I really enjoyed talking to you and letting you share your gift with the world. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.